A pleasant good morning. Pleasant morning to each and everyone listening to DBS Radio this morning time. This is Anniversary Radio. Friends, WADIX in the mix. Welcome to another Creole Heartbeat program. That's where we dissect. We go deep into the cracks and crevices of our Creole culture and disseminate the information. This is DBS Anniversary Radio, the 21st of July. It's Creole Cadal Slips a month on the Nature Eye. And we should be hooking up with Linford Akrab John. We should also be hooking up with Fred Nicholas, should be in studios. And a DJ Neva. Sometime about 20 past. 11 in Dominique and the Cameron. By the way, Cadal Slips a month continues tonight. Expeditious Cadal Slips with Colin XP tonight from 7 to 9. It's a virtual Colin XP experience, tribute to Cadal Slips a month. Tonight on all social media platforms. Then on Friday, panel discussion 3 at the UE Open Campus. 8 p.m. Cadals and wine. What do I mean by that? Cadals and wine. A complimentary glass of wine on entrance while we celebrate with the panelists, guest artists, and Cadal Slips of music lovers. Cadal Slips a month. Cadals and Puella Man. Just want to thank the Nation Station and all our partners for recognizing the importance of our Cadal Slips genre. And as we try to inform and educate the nation and the Creole people globally, we are privileged from the headquarters of broadcasting in Dominique and the Caribbean, DBS Radio, to bring across to you another Creole Heartbeat presentation. Should be having Linford Akrab John on the line. Let's move across and say good morning to Linford Akrab John. Good morning, bro.
Good morning, good morning. How you doing, brother?
I am fine. I want to say congratulations on Cadal Slips a month and the work that you have done and continue to do as a legend, as an icon. What's up, Akrab?
Well, I'm doing good, and thank you for those kind words. I'm doing really good, thank you. And like you say, I am always a guy who is going to be playing the Cadal music and filtering it to the best of my abilities. And I thank you for your part in bringing it to the people and the culture, keeping the culture alive. You are a vital part of it all. And we do appreciate you. I speak on behalf of all the musicians, all the people who are culturally aware. I want to tell you, you are somebody who's going to go down in our history as preserving the culture, and thank you for that.
I'm humbled by that, Akrab, and many thanks. By the way, for those who don't know, you are from Salisbury, Bowie.
Yes, indeed. I'm from Salisbury.
And we just want to welcome Fred Nicholas in the building, the maestro, just entering the studios now. But Akrab, we're just going to say a special good morning to Fred. Fred getting set. And let's say good morning to Fred Nicholas Esquesava. What's up, my partner? Freddie, what's up? We have Akrab on the line.
Hi, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
I'm good.
It's a pleasure to have you on DBS Radio.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Absolutely. And we are going to delve into Bilo Men, but we know that you two in particular did quite a bit of work outside of Bilo Men, and that's why we'll try to bring to the public first. Linford, let's hit you first, and then we'll come to Freddie. We know before Bilo Men that you played with Naked Feet, alongside your brother and several other stuff. Tell us the whole story. How you from SMA and then to Naked Feet, and then from there to Bilo Men. Also understood from a sneak preview that Kassav wanted you from the beginning, but we'll deal with that a little later.
Yeah, I have a long history. Well, I'm not one of the spring chickens, you know. So I do have a long history, and so. And let me say hi to my brother Fred. We've been playing music for a long time. We've been friends for like 50 years.
Wow.
So,
yeah, man,
hey, boss. What's up, my brother?
Easy, man. Good to hear you. Yeah, good.
Good to hear you.
How's the family?
Okay. Family's doing good. Everybody's doing good. And everybody says hello.
Good.
So I I was after, well, in SMA, I was involved with with this guy Bishop and I, Alexis Severin. I started a group. We call ourselves Imitations. And long story short, we had some exposure. It was getting really nice. I had my first appearance at the Arawak Cinema. I must have been about, I don't know, 14, 15 maybe. And I mean, that experience was something else, because when the curtains went up and I saw the crowd, my throat just went dry, my knees started shaking, and I was just, petrified is the best word for it. And I started praying, man. I started praying, God, give me some moisture in my throat. Let me do this. But the minute I started singing, thankfully the crowd just erupted. People just started, whoa! So that just, the fear just went away. And I just started singing then. So anyways, that I left that. From that experience, I went to Naked Feet. Well, I used to play with the Salisbury band all along, and after high school, that just became even more. The band was at that time was Impressions, and that Impressions became Mammoth later on. And I did go with Mammoth for a while, but that's later on. I was with Naked Feet, and I actually joined the band to actually play the drums, because Corbo was a drummer at the time, and he was kind of hinting that he is going to go a different direction. And so I got in there, and I was singing background vocals, and I guess playing percussion, and I sung some lead songs. But Glenn was the lead singer, and Glenn was a very competent lead singer. So I did learn a lot from Glenn, because he has this personality on stage, man. You see Glenn on stage, you start smiling. I know I get that reaction too, but when you're talking about Glenn on there, that's a different story, man. I think, and that's my personal opinion. If you want the voices, you want harmonies and stuff, I'll give that to you. If you want a guy on the stage at the optimum, that's my brother Glenn. So anyways, I went with was in Naked Feet, and that's when I got approached by Bill Thomas. He wanted to start, and I was surprised, because he was with Gramax, and Gramax was at the top of the charts by then. Gramax was doing very well, and so, but he wanted to do something different, I guess, and so he was looking for, trying to pick some guys that go on him with that journey, and Fred and I were a part of that, and that was Rogers, Fred, Bombik, me, and I don't want to miss anybody, Bird, and who was it now? Bombik, Bird, Fred, me, and Rogers. I think that's what it was. And then
all of you then from Naked Feet.
Rogers and I were from Naked Feet. Fred was with Wafrika. Well, he'll speak for himself what he was doing.
I tell you what, Accra, we will hold your thought a while, because we'll get into the Freddy's aspect of Bilomen. Fred,
Sure. Hey.
Man, from very early, we knew you were going to be one of the finest bassists ever in the entire Caribbean. You had
definitely,
yes,
definitely.
As a little boy, you may not be that older than I, but from very early we saw you with a different style, a different groove, a different bounce. Tell us about the beginning of your musical life, your journey.
Well, from the time I figure I really wanted to do music. To be honest, I used to listen to the radio a lot, and I just tell myself, I got to be in the midst of all the people I hear on the radio, and that's one of the things that motivated me more to go as far. You know, I still going anyhow. You know, I haven't stopped, and I just listen, go up the river with my guitar, play what I hear, and keep on working, work.
You were always interested in playing bass?
I started as a guitar player, really,
Okay.
and then from the guitar I go to the bass, because to me that's where I could express myself a little more, and you got to be a very responsible person to be a bass player, I think.
I know. To me, it is the heartbeat, foundation, the groove,
right.
the bounce.
To lock it there, you know.
Yeah.
You know. And
at what age you started, Freddie? I mean,
I started around about 12.
12.
Yeah, 12. And when I was around, when I was 15, I think I you know, the time of the Federal Maple and Palm, I moved to Grenada.
Oh.
In search of music, really. I left early, you know. I really wanted to do that, you know.
That's before you joined Africa.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before you joined Africa, you left.
I already left, man.
All right.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you see, there's a lot of things about me.
And what happened in Grenada?
Well, I stayed there for a while, and there's this group. That was the first time I saw a woman playing physically playing, you know, like you know, playing keyboard. And the person I went by, he owned the band, and I stayed there for a while. You know, but you know, when you're young, you know, you're frisky, you know, you want to move about, you're looking, you're searching. And then I came back to Dominica, and while I was here, while I came back, there's this guy called Jean-Paul Darrow. He was in my class in Rosa Boys School, and he moved to Guadeloupe because he had French connection. His mom was living in Guadeloupe. So
that's the name Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul, yeah. We used to call him Nico, you know.
Yeah.
And he was actually in a group called Smoke.
Yes, I remember Smoke.
You know.
I remember Smoke.
And then he came to Dominica looking for musicians because Smoke made that album, and the band, just the musicians made the album, but they weren't an existing band per se. But Nico Darrow really wanted to continue the group, so he came looking for musicians. And yeah, I just came back from Grenada and told me, let's go to Guadeloupe. You know, that's not the first time I went to Guadeloupe, you know. But when I went there the first time, it wasn't about Cadas, you know. And I think our theme is really about Cadas, right? The Cadas Lipso we're talking about, you know. When I went the first time, we didn't do Cadas. Rats was part of that group. Sty, myself, you know.
That's Wafrikai?
No, that's not Wafrikai.
So
we used to call that group O Travis, but it wasn't Cadas.
Travis.
Yeah, it wasn't Cadas then. You know, we were doing stuff, you know, American, reggae, calypso, you know. But with Smoke, it was Cadas. You know.
So Smoke was before Wafrikai?
Smoke was yes. Yeah.
So actually, Smoke.
No, Wafrikai was before Smoke. Yeah.
So tell us about the Wafrikai experience now.
Yeah, well. We had people like John Benoit, deceased.
Yeah.
Kobo was part of Africa.
John I, right?
John I.
Right?
Yeah, John I. Yeah. Then you got a guy called Philip Norris, Bruce. Then you had Rats as well. Then Roger
Aaron.
Yes. Yes. And you had a guy called Jackson. We call him Java.
Of course, man. Newtown.
Right.
Java.
He was a singer.
Java Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, he was a singer on the Africa album.
Yes. He sang 2 songs. Okay. Well, those were reggae songs, you know.
And then Ghana sang the rest, right?
And Ghana Fingal was there.
Ghana Fingal, that is the brother. The brother Peter Fingal.
Peter Fingal, right. And then, but what really struck me about Africa is the name, you know, really. You know, to me, some young guys who have that kind of level of thinking, you know, because it's the West Indies. You put the W of the West Indies and the I at the end in between. Like before and after of Africa. Yeah. So that's where Africa came out.
That's a nice name. That's a nice name.
Yeah, you know.
So how
then
continue.
Well, in those days, you know, the Cadas thing started to come on big on the scene, and Guadeloupe Martinique, they used to send get musicians record. You know? And we got this contract to go record an album. And we rehearsed at Nicky Fifth Place, actually, in High Street. We get together and we went to Martinique and did that album. That was
Africa
album. Yeah, the first one.
That album played a lot during
the show. Yeah, the hit song Show.
Sure. Ghana sang this one.
Yes.
Ghana sang this one.
Yeah.
So what happened now when Bill Thomas now left Cramax and then he came down? You were in Dominica at the time?
Yeah, I was in Dominica at the time, and I remember I was in High Street, you know, when Bill and Bird came. I used to frequent High Street a lot because, you know, music, you know. Make it fit, you know. You know, it to be a lot.
Make it fit was the in thing.
With
the younger guys.
Downstairs, wherever there's instruments.
You find yourself,
yeah. And then, there, Bill and Bill came, and they were talking about, you know, and they auditioned me then, you know, because he was putting that side together with Bill Man, which Accra rightly said, you know, those were, Bombix was the original guitar player there. Then he had Roger, percussion, he got, Bird he came with Bill, you know, because I think Bird knew Bill from Guadeloupe a long time, you know. Yeah, so, and then we went to Guadeloupe, and there was Bill Man.
There was Bill Man.
Yeah.
Rick, tell us about that aspect of it, though, Accra.
Well, we got there and we started the rehearsing. It was intense rehearsing. So, you know, the challenge started. Number one, Bombix and Bill didn't get along too well. And so we're rehearsing and playing, and, you know, the friction sometimes would thing, and then it would come up. And then at one point, then one day we're rehearsing, and Bombix, in walks, I think it was Ratish and Bruce, was it? So anyway, they walk in and so then I think that, if I remember correctly, I think Bob Briggs put on his guitar and then stuff, and so I think we're looking at him, and he said, "Well, I'm going with my boys right now."
that was before the first album of Bill Man.
Before the first album. So Bob Big said, yeah, I'm going right now with my boys, and you know that. But I think his issue was that Bill is a very talented guy. You know, he's very talented, but he's also a little challenging to live with and get along. And we all lived together, we played together. I mean, we're together 24/7. So that we were kind of like a family.
What was the routine like, Freddie and Bill and Akrab? In terms of, I understood that Bill was tight in terms of practicing.
Yeah, well, which is good. I didn't have a problem with that, you know. And,
absolutely.
And the thing about it, just we had a goal, you know.
What was that goal?
And to become what
the best.
What people like us for.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I mean, we were hearing all the other bands at the time, because Bilas himself was in Gramax. There was the Groovers then, the Exile Ones, and then now you guys coming in, but it have some experience now.
Right. It was a good discipline, because you see, music.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, I think, even as musicians, we have ourselves to blame because we think it's just a free up thing. Music is serious business. You know, it's a profession that we take seriously. Up till now, I'm a musician, you know. So from there, and then that discipline was there. You know, it was new to some of us. You know, it's true, we playing well, our instrument well, but in terms of the discipline, you know, we get up. We had breakfast. Breakfast was made by, we had turns to whoever have to make. You know, there was always food. We always had a good dwelling place, and there was always food. You know. And then the rehearsal time, we had to respect that.
All morning.
And, you know.
All morning, all afternoon.
Initially, we were rehearsing in the home we were living until you know, go all over the places, the neighborhood. You know, you don't play music. You know, so we had to get away from our dwelling place to get to rehearse a different place. You know, and so we go to rehearse from that time, take a break, lunch, from lunch back to rehearsal. Wow. And that was the drill.
Every day.
And then Freddie, don't forget. And then when we go home, somebody prepares dinner. After we finish eating, sometimes we sit down on the bed and we're working out harmonies, and we
again
until we get sleepy.
So it was just all music.
Yeah, that's music affair.
All music. And but here's one thing. Fred and I mean, we go back way back when a lot the rest of the guys I got to know them in the band, but Fred Rogers and I knew each other, and Bombix, Bombix was there first. And so as time went by, here's the irony about it. I started getting sick of Bill, and so Fred is the guy a lot of times I would confide in. So I would tell Fred, man, I'm gonna quit, man. I'm gonna quit. And Fred would tell me, no, don't do that, man. And Fred would encourage me
to stay.
Fred would encourage me every day. And so, because Fred was the guy. Fred was on his bass, and he was, savage bass player, man. Fred is always practicing on the bass, and looking at him and stuff, you get inspired to go practice too. So I would go on the beach from morning and just practice vocals and do my ranges. And at that time, man, I was younger. I had a lot of range. I think I had like about 4 octaves, man. And it's like, whoa. And so we doing things, and I'm seeing like, man, this is, you know what? I'm gonna head back to Dominic, and Fred's telling me, no, man, hang in there. And then I turned around one day, and Fred is gone.
So Fred didn't play on the first album.
He did. You
played on the first album, Freddie?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So then you made that first album in Guadeloupe.
But that's prepared as all set for the second album, I reused
So you had
everything.
already done the first
because
album.
the band had moved from Saint Francois to Pointe-à-Pitre. People living in Grand Camp.
We move up the ladder. Now we're living in
City, or you
You have to
upgrade.
go elevator to go up.
After the first album, you upgrade.
Yeah.
The first album was passing.
It was, no.
No, the first album is African music.
African music. And that made an instant hit.
Right, yeah, man. Of course.
Man, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But after the first album, Akrab, and after the first album, you played live then? Dances, parties?
Yeah.
Well, while we were rehearsing and stuff, when we were in Guadeloupe before the first album, we rehearsed and stuff, but in the weekends we jamming. Sometimes during the week we jamming at a hotel called Meridien, and we played it, and that was given some helping the guy because the guy who is financing this, we have 2 buildings we live in, one we live in, one we're rehearsing in, and we just straight music, so he's paying all the bills.
Yeah.
And so now, when we start getting music together, we start playing those little gigs, and that would help with paying the bills. And so now, as that went on, so now, when we went to and do the first record, from the time we did the first record, we started hearing, people saying that, oh wow, this is just something else. Listen to this, and we start hearing that.
Yeah.
But that is when Fred and Zyro left.
So after the first album, Fred and Zyro left.
Fred and Zyro left.
What happened, Freddie? What happened, Freddie?
Not immediately, man.
You got homesick or what?
No.
Not immediately.
I never.
Before it came out, before it was released.
I'm never homesick, man. Anyway.
but Akrab was saying he was leading on your commitment, and all of a sudden in the morning.
But then,
so what made you decide?
But in retrospect, maybe it's a good thing I left, because if you notice, I'm not saying that if no malice, no nothing, the third album, people had songs on it, not only Bill. The last one.
So what was the problem? Bill was dominating.
No, well, it's thing that things that maybe
everything
to me, I don't feel it's appropriate to say.
Yes, okay, no problem.
Certain things.
Internal stuff.
Because it's certain questions that I was looking after my own future. Certain things that I want to know and asking questions. Like Linford rightly saying, you're asking Bill certain questions, you're not getting satisfaction in terms of So
it was the business aspect of it.
I want to know
was a problem for a lot of us
because things happening, and I'm not feeling part of it.
Yes.
So then I had to, to me, if I go saying it to Akrab, whoever, anybody else, they would do in terms like tell me, yo man, don't do that, don't do this.
So you decide you're not telling anybody?
Anybody, when they wake up, they just don't see.
So what did you take? You took the boat or the plane?
Not the plane, because I always have a written ticket.
Yes. Yes.
But the thing is, after the album was done, so this didn't get me back.
Bill said don't get you back.
Yeah. And
No. Hold on. After the record came up and it blew up, I'm looking at what is going on, and the guys on that record is not. That's when we get Julie. Julie was playing lead guitar.
Yeah. And
we
Gito.
get, Bruce, and
Gito.
Yeah. I used to have to go spend nights with Gito to get him to teach him the sound and stuff. But anyways, when after Fred and Zyro left, this thing blew up, and I am looking at what is happening, and I'm saying the 2 guys who made all this happen, are gone. I mean, the rhythm section, and now is when we're making money. Before then, we were not making any, we're not getting paid, and now we're getting paid. And I'm looking at the guys that, so and the thing about it, honestly, the rhythm changed. We have different people playing now, and the
Biloman sound was different.
Was different. So, and I was missing that.
Well, I don't know that part of it, you know, so
you know you're in Freddie.
Yeah, no.
So in actuality, Akrab, you missed the Freddie bass lines.
I missed the Freddie bass line. I missed the Zyro guitar. I missed it all. And check it out now. So now we started pushing. Well, I started that pushing to get Zyro and Fred back. And Bill was fighting that. Bill didn't want that. He didn't want that. Oh, he said no. You don't want that. And then, but by then I had gained a lot of influence in the band because now I was
lead vocalist.
Yeah.
Your name going out there.
Okay. Yeah, it was something else.
Okay, just hold your thought a while, Akrab. We're just going to be joined by DJ Neva. Good morning to you, DJ Neva.
Good morning.
Okay, you're live on DBS Radio, the nation station. We're celebrating 50 years. And in the building, Fred Nicholas, bassist par excellence and one of the greatest vocalists in the Western Hemisphere, Linford Akrab John. Tell us a little about yourself. We know you are ethnomusicologist. Tell us what does that mean and a little about yourself.
First, I want to say greetings to all of you gentlemen. I've been enjoying the discussion. I've been listening online, and thank you so much for inviting me to join you for this program. I am a DJ. Let's see, this is my 41st year as a professional DJ. One of the first women DJs in the United States, I would say, certainly in New York. I'm currently in upstate New York in the small village of Catskill, and I have a weekly radio program called Music for the Masses. I've been operating as Music for the Masses since 1995. And yes, I'm an ethnomusicologist. My field is Caribbean, Latin, and African music. It's a pretty broad range. It's a big field. And so that's what I do.
Well, what's your opinion? You listen to music from all over the African continent, the Caribbean, Latin America. What is your opinion when you listen to Cadence Calypso music?
My opinion is I immediately start dancing. Well, opinion gets pushed to the side because you just have to move and enjoy it. For me, you know, music that swings that's everything.
Yes.
I'm from a certain generation that, if it ain't got that swing, it don't mean a thing. Cadence Calypso is the essence of swing, and plus it's a composite of all of the music that I love the most.
You're serious? Wow.
Absolutely. So for me,
that's a big plus for Cadence.
Definition.
Wow.
Sorry?
I said that's a big plus for Cadence Calypso.
But that's true. It's the music combines all of the elements, all of the genres of music that I have really enjoyed, studied, that I love playing for my listeners the most, and so it brings it all together. And when I first was introduced, I would say I was first introduced to Cadence Calypso. Interestingly enough, I lived in Bluefield, Nicaragua from 1987 to 1990. And at that time, the local clubs were playing this music that I didn't know what it was, but it was the most popular music of everything.
That's in Nicaragua, 1987, 89.
In Nicaragua, right. And the local bands were also emulating and playing the music of the bands that were playing Cadence Calypso. And I had no idea what it was, and they didn't even know what it was. I had a DJ friend who used to call it the music patois.
Oh, the name of it was the music fatwa.
Right.
Interesting.
And but it was the most popular music. Everybody was playing it. Everybody was listening to it. All of the bands, that was what they wanted to play.
Wow.
And then I found out in 1990 when I returned to the U.S. and I started doing radio at WBAI in New York City. I started, I bought a lot of the music home from Nicaragua, the records of the local bands that were playing this music. And that's when I learned that it was, in fact, from Dominica, from the Antilles, and that it was Cadence Calypso. And my mind was officially blown.
Interestingly, DJ Diva, you also had a 2-hour program where you dedicated that to Cadence Calypso music on Sunday. Tell us the response from your audience.
I did. Well, the response was, what is this music? How come I've never heard it before? And
wow.
I do play it occasionally. I'll sneak some in, but it's been quite a while since I've played like a concentrated amount, dedicated a program to. Probably the first time I've dedicated a full 2-hour program to Cadence Calypso. I'll slip in a tune every now and then, but this is the first time. And people are always amazed because it's such a profound genre of music. It's so complex. That's the commentary that I receive from a lot of people. Wow, it's really complex. This music has so much going on, and yes, exactly, that's what it is. It's really endless. And look, the proliferation of the music. How much music? That's the point that I kept making during the program. That this Dominica, this little place, right? That people don't even, they always confuse it with Dominican Republic. Oh, yeah, Dominican Republic. No, Dominica. And so much music, so much incredible music, so many bands, so much music. But that was also the time in the world that it was. I'm particularly, in my work, I'm particularly interested in the music that came out of the post-colonial, new independence era.
Yes.
Because that's when there was this explosion of expression, of cultural expression. This is ours. Every place that had been formerly, a European colony, had this pent up, I would say, this pent up energy and pent up identity that was finally able to be expressed. And it's just so amazing that Dominica, it's just by chance. How did it happen in Dominica? Okay, so Gordon Henderson happened in Dominica, right? And you gentlemen, it's just you. As far as I'm concerned, you've provided an incredible service to humanity by creating this music.
You heard that, Freddie, and you provided humanity with an incredible and just because of time, Neva, because we should be ending in the next 25 minutes. What would you like to tell these two musicians and to musicians who played Cadence Calypso and to Dominica about how important this music is?
Oh. It's excuse me, 1 second, hold on. I'm almost tongue-tied to be in your presence.
Oh my God.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What do I want to tell the world? I want to tell the world, start listening to this music if you're not listening to it already. You and your colleagues have created a body of work that is for all time.
Thank you.
And if people like to dance, this is music for dancers. And, I constantly bemoaning the fact that people don't really dance anymore, especially young people. And when you listen to this music, you just have to whatever's going on in your head, you just have to put it to the side and let your body move, and the music will take you in so many directions. And it's really, I think it's very profound music because of what is involved in it. I mean, you can pick it apart academically, intellectually, but as far as dancing is concerned, you can go in any direction with it, and the music does go in so many directions. That's what makes it.
That's true.
That's what makes
Absolutely.
it a genre for all time. And I'm really thrilled that you celebrate it. How long has Dominica been celebrating Canal Calypso Month?
Well, it's the first month we are dedicating entirely for the Kedas Calypso genre. We have at DBS Radio we have a Kedas Calypso Day where we dedicate one day in particular for about 5 years. But we decided this year to dedicate an entire month and bring back the whole history, bring back the musicians, the legends, and now to collaborate the legends with the young people so that the music can continue.
Well, that's extremely important.
Absolutely.
That really is the most important, to inspire the young people. I was really enjoying your stories about, coming up as musicians, and that's a timeless story for musicians pretty much everywhere. And the experience of making the music must have been amazing.
Absolutely.
For you.
Okay, Neva, I just want to thank you for your contribution this morning, and we'll touch base after the program. God bless you, my dear.
Thank you so much, and good luck, and please keep making the music.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, you heard it, guys, from an ethnomusicologist, and what she do, she study music.
Right.
She study all type of genres as far as Egypt, she told me, Egypt. And, that is the kind of response when she heard Kedas Calypso music, the music itself got.
But I'll tell you something, WADIX. You know what I like about Kedas Calypso? It represents every emotion of the human being.
Yes.
Of the human. For example, you can create a Kedas that is just slow, spiritual. You can create a Kedas that's aggressive and revolutionary. You can create Kedas that and the tempos vary. The topics vary.
You have
it's not
Mother's Day.
Yeah, right. It's not only festive, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It is.
That's true.
Different moods.
Emotion.
Different moods.
Yeah,
that's important for any genre because and that's why, according to DJ Neva, it's timeless.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it bridges the gap.
Yeah.
It bridges the gap, young and old. Can listen, but that's coming from a musicologist, one who studies ethnomusical and ethnomusic, all types of music globally.
Yeah.
And she said, whilst we in Dominica not even accepting the genre, you heard it was a big thing. And then that's one of the things we have to understand. Good music is appreciated globally, and that's what Kedas Calypso did.
Indeed.
Amen to that.
But then, okay, Freddie, you came back to the band. And, but it's important because I would want to know. Sobers keep boasting for me. That's Sobers Esprit. That you guys played in a jam with Gramax and I think a Martinican band in Martinique.
Right.
And you played first, and people was just stunned at the kind of music that it's like as the first time they were hearing music like that.
Yeah.
And then when you came back, a full hall was just in awe at the music play. What would be your biggest memory of the Below Men concept, the Below Men movement? We started Friday and then Akrab.
Well, that question there, I don't know. It's so many of
good times.
Maybe when we first went to Paris, that we were at this place called the Salwagram. And if memory serves me right, I think people were, like you say, salivating over the thing, check, what those guys, and even them photographers like taking pictures like nobody business,
What I remember about that hall, Freddie, that we could not see the end of the hall. It's just head, just people.
Right.
People.
Yeah.
Just people.
Yeah.
And music came down that night, Freddie.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, good energy, and everybody make, petite guys.
What about you, Akram?
Well, mine is a little different with Freddie because Fred was on the first record. The second record, they were gone. We had a different experience with the other guys. And then the last record, that's when Fred and them came back. But after this first record came out, when it all went crazy, And oh man, we in Martinique. I mean, we could not walk the street. I couldn't walk the street because it's like it's. For example, the first night when we went, and that's why I miss these guys so much because honestly speaking, when Fred and Zyro left, like I said, what made the band was that first record. When that first record came out, it just went crazy, really crazy. And the guys at the integral part of that is not there, and so it's a different sound. And I don't know people. I mean, those guys we have are professional. They're good. The band sounds good. I mean, Julie Martin. I mean, Julie's a phenomenal musician. And so there's no way
I never knew Julie. I never knew Julie Mate or Julie Morillo.
Mate.
Oh, Mate, that is a mantra. I never knew Julie Mate played for Bilomen.
Yeah. But he didn't record though. He didn't record.
He just played live.
He played live. Yeah. Him and a guy from Guyana called Bruce Bamp. No, Bruce recorded. Bruce was on the second record.
So Akram and Freddie, you had that Guyanese plus you had Trinidad and Hunman.
We had a Trinidad, Antigua, and a Vincentian.
So Antigua.
So
Bilomen was a Caribbean band.
Yeah.
So we had a Vinci, Trini, Grenadian, Guyanese.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We went through, but you know what is for me the big thing was, like I said, man, Bilomen, that first record, we had that song, and you can see it in the last record to this middle record. The only song on the two records, the first two records, you can see the similarity in the music, the music being played. In the second one, you can see it's a little different, but that's the one that had Boazin on it. The second one had Boazin. Yeah.
Right.
And I was not, to be honest, I was not there for the entire Boaz. I only sang Boazin on that record because Bill couldn't sing it.
Okay. Boazin! Give us a little Boazin. Akra, give us a little Boazin. Give us a little Boazin. Oh, you was in hospital?
I was in the hospital.
Okay.
I was in the hospital. I'd gone to have surgery in Dominica, and we were started working on the second record, and but Bill wanted to do the second record, and the producers didn't want to. They wanted him to wait for me, but he didn't want to do that. So they went ahead and they did it, and then but he couldn't do Voisin, so they had to wait for me to come and do Voisin.
All right.
And then I came when I came back. I did Voisin, and then we released that record was released.
Man, Voisin was a big hit from all reports.
Yeah.
Oh, Voisin saved that record, to be honest.
Voisin was a big from all.
You're right.
And I've spoken to quite a bit of people that Bilomen's music has really influenced. Look, Leandre, you know, you say, nah, man, and Bill, Bilomen.
Yeah.
There's also a guy that's responsible for GM Harmony.
Yeah.
He normally reproduces a lot.
Oh,
of
yes.
Granier, man.
He did they did Grave General.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, this guy is just in awe and to him, Bilomen inspired his music. And likewise, likewise Luke Leandre, the same guy you did the collab with Akram, Dominique. Luke Leandre.
Luke Leandre.
Yes, man. Yeah. He said his foundation, what really pushed him was Bilomen's music. But I also understood that live, you all would interchange instruments.
Yeah.
Different fellas go on drum, different fellas go on bass, show business. Yeah. You would go on the drum, Akram. You would leave the vocals.
I actually played the drums on one of the songs in the second record.
The last album.
The last album, okay.
But this is tremendous. I mean, there is a band on stage, and at some point in time, the music would continue to flow, but you guys would just change instruments.
Yeah.
And that's talent.
People just go crazy.
This is talent, my brother.
Like Bird is an all-rounder. Bird plays keyboard, guitar.
Bill also.
Zyro.
Play
good drums.
Talent. We had a lot of talent in the band. We had a lot of talent.
And this is tremendous. But then I really would want to touch on after, because there are two areas I would want to touch before we leave. Do you guys miss those times? Would we ever see? I would love, honestly, and I know because why Bilomen never played in Dominica. That's one. We never get the opportunity, and Bill died.
Right.
So Bill Omen never played in Dominica, and I you know, we know Exile and Gramax, so you know, all played in Liquid Ice and so on.
Yeah.
But then, would we ever see a return of, even if it's the guys that are wrong? You are available, Freddie. You in Dominica, Bird, Akrab, Zyro, even Bombex is here. I can bring back Bonges. I think you guys, while you're alive, owe the Kadas public a live Below Men at some point in time. That is coming from somebody who has really loved Kadas Lips of music. So you don't have to answer no, but I think it is something the public would love to see, even if Bill is not there, but the core guys, and you could get local guys to play the brass.
But if it's one thing, like you say, I'm disappointed in is that we never played here.
In Dominica, yes.
Yeah, for real.
You know?
And
We've been St. Lucia, we've been there everywhere but here.
Yeah, talking about that, I talked to a guy called me up 2 weeks ago, and he's telling me that, you know, he's the Canos, and that's show you how vital that Canos month thing is. He's following all the Canos month thing, and he's telling me that, you know, he had the pleasure, he was so happy of being there when we played in St. Lucia.
Ah, boy. St. Lucia, beloved. Come man, and Freddie. Lucia get to see beloved, and after all, I have to fix that up. Guys, I mean, I'm virtually begging you to really do something, even if it's for next Kadas Lips a month. But I think you owe the public, the Kadas Lips a public, alive. Because the core, Bill is not there, but the core is still around. You know, whether we have to get the government to get the rest of the guys' tickets to come down. But I think we need a live Bill Omen, and we can start to look for it from now until next Kadas Lips a month. But then I really was interested. Freddie, we'll take Freddie first, and then we'll take Akrab, because we heard of his story. We want to hear and repeat his story about being a recruit for the Kasab, and he decided otherwise. But Freddie would have gone on to play after that era, as far as Arrow and more.
Yeah.
So the Kadas was basically like a foundation to really push you to the next level.
Yeah, well, after that, we had a little areas where, for example, when Bill Omen broke up and Naked Fit, we put a site together called Fit Omen, you know.
Serious?
I don't know if Akrab can remember that.
The Fit was for...
We call Fit Omen, you know, like Naked Fit.
Oh, you serious? I never heard of this one.
Man.
Wow.
We did Fit Omen.
What?
You know?
This is the first time.
Wasn't it Demon? I'm thinking something like Demon F or something like that.
Yeah,
Fit Omen. So Naked Feet and Beloved Man. Wow.
But we never ever record, you know. I mean, we try, you know, things happen, you know, people try things, you know, and some things stick, some don't, you know. And then, however, then there came Emphasis.
Yes, I remember Emphasis.
With Julie Moore. And you know, and when that broke up,
boy, you had a one of my favorite was, what's the song again?
Africa.
It's Africa. Give us a little taste.
Last part, I'll tell you.
Boy, that one.
Rastafari.
Rabade. That man, rap. This one is which one again?
Yeah, this one. I call it Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Emphasis was a nice. I remember you played. Imagine you can remember you played at my house, Freddie.
Oh yeah.
Man, you're crazy. Imagine Emphasis playing at my house disco, man. I remember man, that was a jam.
Yeah.
I remember, man, this jam. I was with Derek Didi Alexander.
Okay.
This guy is that man. Emphasis in Wales, the school board. That was a jam. But you would have gone on to play with
and then
Arrow.
From Emphasis, Swinging Stars.
Yes.
I joined Swinging Stars, and while in Swinging Stars, you know, Swinging Stars always get foreign artists. They have their, you know, to back up, you know, and they got Arrow.
As a show, a live show with Arrow, they backed him up.
They got Arrow and the band backing up Arrow. Then I was in the band then, and Arrow was just blown away.
Wow.
And after that, he kept contacting me. I don't know if I went to Canada. We moved to Canada. We made a group called Case 109.
Jesus Christ.
And we were in Canada.
Case 109. I'm doing
Bird was in that.
I'm doing a collection of all the bands that were ever formed, whether they made album.
All right.
So that's what I'm marking. Case 109.
So there's Bird, Julie Martin, Extra Deadly was part of that, you know.
Oh, that is the Bully. Bully that got drowned in Marigot side.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we were living in Canada. Janet was part of that as well.
Wow.
And
Case 109.
Yeah. And then, you know, and I was looking for me because I left Swing Stars, you know, because to me, Swing Stars is a great band, and they have, it's like that's their thing, but they had no intention of moving from where they are. And I
You wanted to move further.
So so I move on, you know. And I used to work a lot of Ophelia between them, you know. And then while in Canada, the phone ring, and somebody tell me, "Are you looking for me?" I say, how you get that number? And the rest is history, you know.
Yeah. You would have spent how many years with Arrow?
7.
7.
Yeah.
And you thought the entire world with
The
Arrow?
whole world.
Whole world.
I saw him in LA with
Oh yeah, I go.
Serious? Man.
I stayed by you even. I stayed by you. I spent the night by your time, I think, in Accra.
Yeah. But Akrab, you yourself, we were told that you almost ended up as one of the original members of Kassav. Tell us the story.
Yeah, well, after Billowman broke up, by then my brother had filed for my entire family way back, and then it was coming to fruition then. It was imminent that at that time for me to get the call whether we're going to move. And so that's right after when Billowman broke up. And then Jackie Nairado called me up. He said he wants me to come to a meeting in Martinique. They want to they have this group that they're thinking of starting, and they want me to be the lead singer. So I say okay, and so I went to Martinique to that meeting, and that's when I found out they discussing a group called Kassav. We're gonna form a group called Kassav. And so so we sat down and talked about it and what the idea is and which direction we're gonna go, blah 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 and stuff. But I knew
who was in that meeting then? Was Jacob and Pierre Decimas and so on was in that meeting?
I don't remember the guys. I remember definitely Pierre
Edouard, because he was actually
the
original leader of the band. Yeah. He actually he was in Viking.
Yeah, right.
And he's known as the man to actually form Kassav.
Right, that's correct.
Right.
The bass player.
I remember him, but I don't remember the rest of the guys there because I didn't know them. But I knew Pierre Edouard. Yeah.
So you did so you did something with them? I mean what happened after?
No, well, after that, then my call came in, and now I had to make a decision whether I was going to go with Kassav or I'm going to move to the States. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to move to the States. And so I told them I was going to come back for Kassav. I did not. I broke my word. I imagined. So I went to the States. And the rest is history.
If you knew then what Kassav would have been
now. Hey, my brother, it would have been a different story.
Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Then, it is what it is. I went to St. Croix. I stayed there for about a month, a few months, almost a year. And actually, I went into the U.S. Armed Services, and then I got a medical discharge, and I went back to St. Croix. Then from there, my buddy Bentley calls me up in St. Thomas. I went to St. Thomas. I stayed there. While we there one day, there's this guy on TV singing calypso, and they're saying that 6 years nobody can unseat this guy. And Bentley turns to me and he said, "Man, you can take this guy out." I said, yeah, I can. He said, "Then do it. Go ahead and do it, man. Make them shut them out." So I just ran and I wrote 2 songs, and then I went into it, and sure enough, the night of it, and the winner is "He's been unseated, Linford John Mighty Birdie." I said, wow.
What Mighty? What? No. Linford John Mighty?
Mighty Birdie.
That was your calypso name?
That was my calypso name.
Freddie, you know about that, but Mighty Birdie.
Mighty Birdie. Because my Birdie was my name as growing up as a kid. Everybody called me Zoazo, Birdie. Zoazo.
That's in Salisbury. Zoazo, because of your singing ability, I would imagine.
That too. Yeah, and I was tiny. I was very, very skinny. I don't know, to be honest with you, it started with my mother when I was born. My mother, and that's what they tell me, when my mother saw, took me out and showed my mother. She said, "Oh my God, a little birdie."
So she knew she made a song star. But guys, just before we leave, when you look at music presently coming from Dominica, what are some of your suggestions for the 2 days musician, and what you think that could happen for Kadas Calypso to continue. We have seen the French into Zuclov, we have seen Latin music into bachata, we have seen the soca making different movements, even reggae going into different dimensions, from ska, dancehall, reggae to now lovers rock. What you think we can do as a people to first of all maintain the Kadas and use the influences around presently with the younger generation? What are some of your suggestions? Let's go with Freddie first.
Yeah, music influence music, you know. So is how ambitious you are to take it to that, you know. You have not to be afraid if you like other genre of music, and you know, it's, for example, Kadas. I made 3 albums, free soul album, and all is Kadas. But you could see the variation in the things that I like, and I incorporate it in it, you know. So that's one way. And also, there's no template to success, whatever it is. It's a matter of adhering to what you want to do, and it's not going to be easy, and you have to stick it out.
Well, what about you, Akram?
Me, I like the fact that Kadas has so many, because it's something that innate kind of in us. Is so your entire feeling about it will come out in whatever it is you do, and that's the glorious thing about it. If you see, we have all kinds of different Kadas music and stuff, and it's like Fred saying, you know, it depends how ambitious you are. Let it flow, let it come out, and it will always, you will find kind of like different avenues in the kind of, because even Bouillon, I mean, it's a branch of Kadas. You know, it's all integrated. So you just let your feelings flow and just play the music and let it go where it will.
Well, what is the Kadas you two enjoy playing the most? For me, in Bilomen, I love Freedom, and I love the one with the mama. These two really. Mama,
okay.
Give us a little thing, crap, just before you leave. Give us a little thing.
Freedom is my favorite.
Boy, Freddie, man. Freedom.
I don't know why you say. I don't
well, these are my 2 favorites.
Freedom.
I actually, for Freedom, doesn't even want to share it. That's how much I love it. So I doesn't want to play it, but then
it was challenging for me playing the bass with that
serious?
song, that particular song.
But whenever I hear Freedom, it resonates with me deep. It puts me in a different kind of mood. You know, Bill singing on that, right?
Yeah.
Bill sing that.
Bill wrote that. But I grab the Mama song is a tube. I think maybe that's the #1 song in for Bowie. You know, you suspect that?
Mama Sherry,
yes. Give us a little thing now, my brother. Give us a little thing before you go. Your song star.
Mama Sherry, Nancy went Paul.
Oh, that's Bon Dieu. That's Bon Dieu.
Yeah. Which one do you want me to sing?
No,
that is the same one. That's the same one. Continue. Start again. We now present Lid for that crap, John. Let's go.
Somebody bless you day. Uniquement for Bon Jack a ben pour tout vite en fait. Et là où mort, où crasser la paix. More?
Man, boy, this.
Yes. Avant moi mort. Pas moi la force. Pour aider maman. Maman, ma chérie, même si moi pas, il a fait moi plaisir pour faire ou content. Travaille toute la journée, uniquement pour moi. Bon Dieu, qu'a béni pour tout vite en fait. Elle est au mort, ou caresser à la paix.
Yes, I look out for the return of Bilomen next Kadas Support. Guys, I really want to thank you for the opportunity to share your story with the world as we celebrate Kadas Lipson month. I learn every time I have a conversation with you guys. I'm learning so much, and that's what's important, to educate the people on a genre that has done so much for us as a people. And the lovely thing about this genre is cross boundaries. It have different moods. different attitudes, different feelings, different complexion. Yeah, what DJ Neva told us, she was in Nicaragua and it was the #1 thing. It still continues to resonate with the people.
Right.
So there's something about it that we in Dominica are not saying, and that is what I believe truly. We are not seeing how important this. If this a classical genre moves people, even if they don't understand the lyrics. That's the music, and according to DJ Neva, it's complete. It's complex.
Yeah.
You know, she hearing everything from Africa in one Cadastipso song. This is magical. You know, and I really want to thank you guys for the contribution that you have made to Dominica's music, Dominica's arts and culture. I think it has been phenomenal, Fred.
It was my pleasure.
As a matter of fact, I'm telling you live, I'm going to send a young lady to do a full-length interview with you. Do not tell her no, because we want the world to know. We are proud. We are proud of having the #1 basis in the entire.
If you don't allow me, I know your show is.
No problem.
You know, one of the ways to capture a lot of that is to always have a little tape recorder in your pocket, and when musicians are wrong, they speak, and things trigger things, and they speak about many things, and that's where you can capture a lot of the things. Because like that, you don't get much. Like I'm talking to you, you don't get much of what we experience. But when musicians hanging around, all of us, let's say you go by bird home or somebody's home, and musicians are around, you start talking about our experiences, and that's when you capture a lot of things.
That's one of the areas we're thinking of doing, taking our program out to the various communities. And you know, in a different setting, let's have a conversation
precisely
on the music and your opinion. You are in a more relaxed setting and that sort of thing. But I really want to thank you guys. Akrab, from you?
Yeah, well, let me tell you, it's been a pleasure, and I appreciate you. You have single-handedly bring this where it is, and making it happen. So we will do our part, and we're going to try to do our part to work, quote-unquote, hand in hand with you to keep it going and to bring it to the forefront. And we heard from this DJ she's in Louisiana, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I always have people ask me sometimes they ask me to speak, when they hear my accent, they want to know where I'm from, blah blah blah. And so when I tell them what I speak and stuff, so they said they speak it in Louisiana, and I'm always curious if they speak the same Creole that we do, or it's a little different. And I was always wondering what the music like is over there in terms of the Calais music and the music that we like, the feel. And so it was very nice, interesting to hear her and give us her input. And that just serves to spur us on, I'll say.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. This was another Creole Heartbeat program, but we have another scheduled program. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you to the entire Dominica. Thank you to the Cadastipso Legends for giving us a wonderful music. Until next week, Wednesday, we just want to remind you this coming Friday panel discussion.
Calling on radio stations and DJs, Creole music lovers, Dominica. Patrim Music Like, Cadastipso Month, July 2021. Creole Heartbeat in collaboration with the University of the West Indies, DBS Radio, alias Frances Going. Calling on radio stations and DJs, Creole music lovers, Dominica. Patrim Music Like, Cadastipso Month, July 2021. Creole Heartbeat in collaboration with the University of the West Indies, DBS Radio, alias Frances Going Global Entertainment, and the Sign Man present panel discussion number 3. Topics: how did Cadastipso place Dominica on the map pre-independence? McMurray. How did Cadastipso enter Radio Antilles at the time Caribbean music was not broadcast? Presenters Julian Rogers and Brian Mee. How Dominica's Creole language was and is perceived by the Haitian community. Presenter Michel Degraff, a linguist from the world-famous MIT University. The Creole language and Cadastipso National Radio. Presenter Dennis Joseph. Moderator Tim Durant. Special guests Judd Dorset, Webb, Jerry Lloyd, Roy Laura, Class, and more. Partners include Digicel, Multi-Solutions Inc., Fine Foods Inc., DTA, DFC, NCCU, MO News, J&M Enterprises, Minimat, Alta Altitude Construction and Services, Diego ACS, Dublin Dental Clinic, All Street Audacity Radio, Radio Abamago, Atlantic View Hotel, St. George's Dental Clinic, Val Ferry, Smonax, Cadastre. Everyone is invited. COVID protocols will be observed. Très musique là, messieurs, mesdames, c'est musique à nous.